mid. They don't really know exactly what's happening because they respect the fact that Snapfire can go both places. We even get to see a Meepo ban that we've seen a couple teams trying to pick up, but instead, no, it's just the old Undying. So it's going to be... Sure. Is it Carry IO?
Okay. Who's... What? Huh?
Is this like, okay, so my read on this is like Carry IO with Undying 5, and then you have like Darkseer Lion as your offlane combo.
What the hell are
That's
they doing?
that's my guess.
What are they cooking? Virtus.Pro just coming into this tournament with some wild swings. Like, all right, boys, international stage. It's time to bust out the Carry IO. We've been holding this throughout the entire DPC.
It's like we've been stuck in Eastern Europe for so long, but now the shackles are off. But I look at Kiritic is Dota Pro tracker, right? He's got, as carry player, he's got 11 games on Meepo, 5 games on Brood, and then it's Bloodseeker, Morphling, and like traditional carries. But he's already showing to us that he's like the annoying carry player. And for Aster, sure, we mentioned the fact that there's this flexibility. I had a bit of ping. Luckily, Sumel's not playing on ping, got the Storm Spirit, and not a lot of lockdown, right? Like this Lion, it's a great Lion game in the essence of you will always hex an elusive hero, be it Void or Storm. But do you really kill after that? It is actually the carry IO that I guess. So.
Is it blessed? Is it cursed? I guess we're going to find out. But
sure.
yeah, this is something I haven't seen in ages. I haven't seen this in such a long time.
All right, I'm checking Pro Tracker, and there have been 2 players in regards to pro players that have played carry IO, and it's been Yuma and RLTW, and both of them are still going for Helmet Dominator into Aghanims. So it's still kind of like the traditional carry IO from years back. Of course, over the time, the damage has been changed, the talents have been changed, so kind of like the boiling point of this hero has been just pushed further and further back. That's why it kind of fell off as a carry. It's also, oh my god, I just realized, Mikey, you fiend. Mikey has played 15, so this is the mid laner for Nigma, has played 15 games of mid IO in his pubs. 15. He has the most games of IO of any player, like pro player. He's only got a 20% win rate. He's not winning, but
it's not going well, but he's doing it.
The point is, like, clearly in the scene, in the pro pub scene, there is some like IO tech floating around, right? And
yeah, the conversation is being had, but obviously theories and actualization are 2 very different things. Virtus.Pro, they're putting a lot of kind of pressure on themselves to make this kind of crazy strategy work. Is it going to work, especially versus Team Aster? It remains to be seen, but I like what they're doing. You know, I love a good curveball. It's very early in the day for a curveball, but whatever. Let's see what they're going to bring to the table.
All right, now I'm gonna sit back and just see what happens. Because like Aster, when you look at this lineup, I was mentioning the fact that they don't really have damage into their big spells. Like their lanes are strong, but their ability to play lanes and be in the face of your opponent isn't really there, right? It's that constant hit that next item, go fight, wait for the next item, and then once you've got like 2-3 items on your void, then you sweep across the map. And when you look against a lineup like this VP one, it's kind of the opposite, right? It's go, go, go. You get a diffusal blade on Pango, fight. IO picks up a Dominator. You probably want the Ags, but like you still want to like at least entertain the idea of getting everyone together.
Yeah. All right, quick branch check on everyone. Good to see VP turning up with as many branches as they can possibly fit. There you go. You love to see it. The IO and the Pangolier just maxed out on branches. The IO doesn't even have any tangos. He's just going straight in for the 5 branch build.
I'm just quickly double checking like the changes to IO just to make sure we've not missed any new tech that has appeared. And
30 seconds.
So yeah, IO's universal hero. His Ags, you allow him to explode the balls whenever you want, and 50% reduction. So yeah, cool. So yeah, spirits are still the same annoying explosive. The question is there any like interesting plays to make because he's universal? Because like you're already pretty tanky, and you're already like, I remember old school carry IO was about the sustain of getting the spirit spam, and then you would just push another hero so far into the fight, and you can't kill the IO plus the spirits hitting you. Yeah, we'll see how it goes, but
Yeah, a bit of fighting coming on straight off the bat here for this topside bounty rune as both teams kind of scrap it out a little bit. Some very strong fighters on both teams as well with the battery assault coming out. You had an earth spike there as well. So a lot of damage being traded, but overall, no one really getting super low. Nothing impactful happening for that first rune fight. Both teams just flexing a little bit.
And so you, of course, stole Kaka's lion, so maybe a little bit of psychological damage entering the series. You know, you join a new roster, you probably want to play your best hero. Psych! We took it. But laning-wise, this Clockwork, he does so much work against these kind of ranged heroes that want to poke non-stop, because the clock just runs so far in that the ranged hero needs to disengage. And yes, you then get the right clicks off, but it just prevents you from always hitting your carry. So yeah, Clock's quite a nice hero for this.
Yep, definitely. And you don't want to use that one stun you have on the Clockwork, really. It's like, okay, yeah, I get you off me for a bit, but at the same time, the carry's just having a free time pretty much. And
yeah.
Very, very annoying. Ooh, Curry being killed off by Kaka down on the bottom side. FNG unable to micro that one probably, and yeah. Sunfire just being pretty annoying from the side. But I'm very interested in this mid-match as well, of course. You know, it is Pango Storm, you know, it's going to be a bit of a trade, but strange things always happen in Sumail lanes, you know. I don't know if it's Sumail the player or just people, you know, playing against Sumail, they start to get the blood flowing or whatever, but
I think Sumail he always just plays for the lane, and then when kills arise, he's ready to capitalize on it, right? Where other players will always be looking to chase for that kill, right? And Top noticed chasing down.
Yeah, they got the vacuum here as well, and that will be the first blood coming through for the Ducks here. Very nicely done from Noticed, and so all of a sudden the battery assault didn't feel so good when you've got an iron shell chasing you down, as well as two guys clicking you in the back of the head.
12 for 2 on the Storm Spirit. Like, he is just, all he's done is just hit creeps, not care, push it out. I'm excited to see how VP actually plays for the runes. Because when you have Undying Lion, like, naturally these heroes that you throw a Tombstone down, you have the control of line that you want to kind of make moves on the map, but when you have a Darkseer in one lane, and then you have the IO as well, like, mainly the IO here, you actually need quite a lot of assistance for him. Like, he needs that body to help him survive the lane, right? So maybe VP won't be as explosive on making moves on the map, and because of that, Sumail should have a better time. We'll see how they navigate that one.
Yeah. I mean, we know that Aster are going to start playing around Sumail the moment he says ping or whatever. He exactly, how he communicates this team. So I'll say the moment he says go, but yeah, they communicate via pings mostly. So
I mean, that was a pretty important thing, right? It's why the roster changed to have Sumail nearly got swashed back to the fountain.
That was spicy.
That was very close. But no, it's like when they're talking about the changes of like Baboka to Kaka, it's like there was a lot of like posts saying how Baboka was maybe a quieter player who sometimes wouldn't want to communicate as much. Again, I don't really know how Kaka is in game, but if he does have that ability kind of to connect the Chinese side of it to Sumail, maybe he's a kind of the middle ground, maybe talks more, like it is going to be able to bring more light to the team potentially. Again, I don't know if that's the type of player Kaka is, but if he is that kind of in-game vocal player but has that Sumail, I got you, let me help translate some moments, it could actually just bring that team to another level. We'll see. Again, this is the first time we get to see them pre-TI
fighting coming over the bounty runes here as the water runes, as PQ gets jumped in, and they're actually doing a decent amount of damage to Squad here. Now comes the blood grenade as well, but they don't really have the catch. But Squad was still able to grab himself that water rune, but as was Sumail. So just a trade coming out here, but Squad definitely getting his feathers ruffled a little bit in the process.
I'm getting the D1, nice.
All right.
That's the beauty of Clockwork. Yeah.
I've done it for a while, but it's time to look at the bottom lane now. We've got this IO. He's actually going for the 1-2 build at the moment, and he's already got himself his Helm of Iron Will. So this guy's yoked. You're not really going to be killing off this IO, I don't think.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. So
he didn't buy any tangos in this laning phase. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, does he need them? Like, he has an Undying. Not. Yeah, I mean, the Undying didn't even go Soul Rip, right? He doesn't need it, but Undying's basically the same as like the Clockwork, just better, right? Like, you are the body to soak up all damage, and Mars Snapfire, they kill if you're within proximity. But IO, like you're always kind of a little bit distant. In worst case, you just tether out. So yeah, I can see the greedy aspect of it, and it's paying off. This hero is all about timings. Like if your IO carry doesn't hit the dominate, doesn't hit the Ags timing, now you're like just a scuffed support-esque IO that's existing, right? Like you need to be at the forefront of every item and getting your team to rally behind you.
Sure, for sure, but he's got Diadem coming out to him already, so he's going to have Helm Diadem. Straight off the bat in the mid lane, though, they do bring down Samael. Nice rotation in from Zayu there, getting it done. Fortunately, PQ not able to help out in time. That's a big deal.
Yeah, nice rotations. I was mentioning how VP would need to be very careful how they make those rotations, but yeah, the fact that I has got so much farm and is so tanky, he can be left alone, which then allows him to make the moves, which shuts down Sumo pre-level 6. So yeah, everything kind of going the way of VP right now.
Yeah, now they're moving on to Clockwork as well. Storm jumping on across, though, trying to help out and turning it back around onto Zayu, and they're going to be able to bring him down. I mean, the kill does go to PQ, regardless, who then immediately dies to Squad. So, well, it's a trade. Not really super beneficial for either team, but Samel will be happy for it, for sure. Like, he gets back into the lane, he gets that level 6, and then immediately jumps across and contributes to a kill, so...
Yeah, gets a freebie. This game's so hype because it's like in 10 minutes time, VP either has to make the move to win the game, or they're just awkwardly outscaled, you know? And it's like, I'm just on the edge of my seat like, ooh, how are they going to do it? Like, how are they going to balance it all? And like, for Aster, they need to get the active runes, right? And they need to just get Sumo to make a key move. But FNG, he's so deep by himself.
Yeah, look at Karka. Immediately just throws down the ward, gets that tombstone. Now they'll run down FNG as well. They just want to make absolutely sure they're taking this guy out. Kill him, kill his tombstone, and send a message. Wisdom rune secured.
I mean, fair play. Like when you're an undying player, you always want to ruffle the feathers of your opponent, right? But Aster brought everyone just dealt with him so quickly. I mean, it helps, right? Because like Monet top, like we not mentioned him, but nothing's stopping him. Like Darkseer is one of the more passive offlaners in most matchups. Unless you're against some like ranged hero where you can chase them down and bully them a little bit with the vacuum and punishment, but some Void, it's like super chill.
Although that said, he's stunned at the moment. He's actually going to get hexed as well. Time Walk is available when he comes out the other side, but they're actually looking for the turnaround here onto Noticed. And yeah, they're going to jump in. They're going to drop the Chrono. Monet, he needs a damage, and he doesn't want to come through and finish the job. That is so awkward, but they will get the kill regardless. Really didn't want to die to that ion shell, and he had to like okie dokie in and out for that one.
I was like, was he trying to survive? Was he just trying to give it to Sumo instead? Oh, and the Sumo gets the DD as well.
Yeah, but he could be. He is out of mana, but they don't really have to chase down in these 3 heroes, so use the swashbuckle to get across. So Samael will be alright. And here we go. Io's got his creep down the bottom side.
Yeah, I'm just constantly keeping note on what Io's doing here. Like he's already got the helm of the Dom. Because you're an Io, you just share the move speed. You don't need to buy boots, of course. So he is just gonna rush his way to the Aghanims. Yeah, and Aghanims, it allows him to get the spirits up. He can activate when they explode. They constantly respawn, and I expect at that point he'll probably tether the Pangolier in the fight, and then suddenly you get a rolling thunder Pango with a tethered Io chasing with you, kind of throwing out all these spells. Of course, Chrono and Arena are going to be key to prevent that. Like, Aster have all the tools to deal with this. They just need to make sure they use them correctly.
Lane looks like PQ's days may be numbered, and that number is looking like 0, though. Didn't quite vacuum him out of the cog, so it's becoming a little bit awkward, but Squad should be able to finish the job. Should be able to. Yeah, Shell's gone now. All right. And there we go. Blimey. Made him work for it. Oh, bottom lane. Yeah, looks like they are going to have him dead to rights here. That's 6 on the Mars, giving him the arena, giving them the lockdown they needed, along with Samael and Karka. They'll get the key kill. Now, well, stuns out onto XXS. He'll be falling. Squad's jumping through the mix as well. Tries to go for the kiss on Snapfire, but immediately cancelled out. Jumps in for the last second stun. That's going to set Samael up for another kill here, but now he needs to leave, and I think he's going to be able to do so. But Squad, he's still interested in chasing this one. I mean, Samael, he doesn't have the most mana in the world. Rolling Shield Crash is going to connect. Stuns out from Zayu as well, draining the mana. He's got no zip available, and Squad will run him down. This Pangolier is taking over the map right now.
4-0-2 at the 10-minute mark. getting all the runes he needs. Yeah, VP are making sure that squad can make every play, and the key thing there is Aster finally get a kill onto Io. They stop his free farm, but then it's like, wait a second, Pango's there to counterplay, and that's kind of the story for VP right now. If they try and shut down one hero, Pango's there. If they shut down the other hero, boom, Pango's there again. So it's like, if you shut down the Pango, there's only Darkseer and Io free farming. So I think VP have done a very good job setting up the map, and you can just see on the net worth, Pango, Darkseer, even Io just kind of holding down the top side, and this Mars, he will soon fall off if he has to rotate defensively to every engagement.
Yeah, I mean, what point do you want to play aggressively though? Is that when you get the Blink Dagger?
Oh, that's Chrono.
Top lane, Chrono comes down. Yeah, I mean, so far, well, it's just Sai who's fallen, but it looks like they are going to be able to get squad with this one as well. A lot of damage coming out from both teams. You notice Karkal getting very low in this engagement, but Smail finds a support kill on the backlines. Now Hookshot comes through onto the two of them, but the relocate is there to get the Darkseer away. And that was a reload in, so he's not going to be jumping back into that engagement on the carry IO, which is thankful.
Okay, this is fun. All right, so now it's like, for VP, they want to be aggressive, right? But now it's like, don't forget, guys, you're playing into Faceless Void, right? Snapfire, Clockwork, playing into high ground areas with no vision. They're going to hit the spells, and like, I love the fact that VP are trying to be aggressive, but on the flip side, it's like Aster, like, it's just be in the correct place, put your spells defensively, you're going to easily clean them up. Pangolier, Darkseer, Undying, all going to be in melee range. Io naturally tethers quite close, so it's kind of hard for Aster to miss their spells. The real question is, can they do the damage through in that moment? And right there, right then, yes, 100% they can do it. So 3k lead now for Aster. We were mentioning how VP was doing a very good job choosing where to fight, and they kind of blundered it a little bit, entering the 11-minute mark of the game with quite a...
Not the jump, and Samael is just gone. Tried to come in for the rune, but immediately gets taken down. Now squad bouncing around left, right, and center, trying to lock down Kaka. That'll be the next kill for him with his arcane rune. He is so damn scary. XXS trying to come in and find the fight here. Squad, oh, he doesn't quite make it out of the arena, and now he's in a very awkward situation indeed, trying to limp himself away from this one, but despite the arcane rune, doesn't have the cooldowns. A miss on that swashbuckle really, really hurts. And now they'll run down FNG as well. 3 heroes dead on the side of Virtus.Pro. They did get the Samael Storm Spirit though.
Yeah, and when you think about the repercussions of that, after this next fight, Pango's gonna have Diffusal played. Void just picked up Maelstrom. Mars gets blinked. Like, all the cores, even though we're seeing these scrappy fights, and it's relatively even. Like, the net worth, no team's really running away with it. After every fight, the cores are kind of happy. They're picking up their items. It's gonna be like, Aster are just slightly ahead.
Yeah.
Just slightly. But it's not anything to be crazy about, right? And I think for VP at least, they need to be careful. And it's like, respect the fact that Io needs Ags. When you get Ags, sure, throw the kitchen sink at Aster. Just get yourself amongst it. But you got to be careful. Because any free kill you give Aster, it's that Faceless Void getting to the Mjolnir, getting to the BKB, getting to that unkillable state. Same thing for Sumail.
Yeah, and there are some really scary times on Aster as well. Like, I mean, I might just be saying this, I don't know the IO, but I feel like his Ags isn't like a, oh no, he's going to win the game moment like it used to be.
I'm trying to remember his old talents, because like right now, in current IO, he has the 15 talent for extra 55 damage, and then obviously he shares damage at 25, or attack hits, but there isn't like constant accelerants towards his spirits. So I am going to quickly refresh myself. I'm going to tab out and remind myself what it used to be.
Oh, jump in. I mean, whoa, this is interesting. We've got a Chronosphere and an Arena coming down, but whatever. It gets them all 3 kills, so it's fine. It's fine. No such thing as too much topping on that pancake, as now we move over towards Krillich as well. He's in a bit of trouble, but he's got that Helm the Dominator creep very nicely positioned to try and run himself away. And my god, he's fast with that Kobold Foreman to speed him up as well. So he's just zooming away from the team at the moment. Once again, separating himself from his Kobold, and that leads him astray, and he gets himself out. Beautiful plays there from Kiritich, but yeah, ultimately still a bit of a disaster for Virtus.Pro, but now they kind of need to make some moves, I feel. You know, this Chronosphere is on cooldown. It's time to make something happen whilst that's those ultimates are down on the side of Aster.
Yeah, so I'm looking at, so yeah, old Io basically was about spirit damage being at 15 and spell lifesteal. And they were basically juggling between spell lifesteal and then the damage, and if it was like 15 or 20. But now with the shard, having that spell lifesteal and the bonus amp, and the damage returning to the 15, it kind of, I guess, makes sense that it is potentially viable. You just need the player to want to play it and to try it out again, because it's relatively in the position of old school IO to some degree. Again, there's of course slight changes to other things, right? But
yeah,
again, we'll see. Right now, you might be top of the CS, but you're pretty much bottom of the cores, relatively tied with Pango. So we really get to see the explosive nature of the hero.
Yeah,
that often
and I'm
comes
glad
when you hit
VP
the
are trying to
timing.
make something happen here. You know, they are smoked up, they are looking in the neighborhood, they're going to find Monet, but Monet's got plenty of time just to back himself away, but Notice can still come in and just steal these creeps, and this is a stacked camp as well, so it's going to feel reasonably good for Virtus.Pro to do that. But again, Aster, they're already moving forwards, you know, they're going to have these kisses back again, Arena's already off cooldown, so they're feeling pretty confident they can take a fight.
Yeah, no, we haven't really mentioned the Darkseer too much, but I do love the fact that he is just going for the auras. He's not trying to do Aghanims, Blink, or any of this type of stuff. He's really focused on, I want to get my unit forward in the fight, and he's going to go for Crimson Guard after. So there is going to be this timing in about a couple minutes time where you have Crimson Guard and Pipe. The IO just completed the Aghanims as well. This is the moment for VP to really make the statement in the game. You fell short to spells already. But this is it, this is it.
No, they found him. He relocated back to Fountain, I think, to get his Aghanims, yeah. And now they're going to try and fight on top of this, but I'm not sure they're going to be able to keep himself alive. Let's see if he can survive through this. Criddle is taking so much damage, and he is going to fall. The TPs are cancelled. They realize there's just too many heroes in the neighborhood for them to take that fight. So IO dies cold and lonely in the bottom lane.
I was trying to hype VP up, like, this is their moment, this is their chance. And it's like, he relocated into his death. And now IO doesn't have relocate when back up, so that the argument of maybe even playing around that respawn isn't available. VP, they're finding XSS right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty good, especially if he doesn't get the arena off, which he certainly will not be able to. No kisses to combo with it anyway, as Samel just passing through. And there's a Chrono dropping down onto 4. They'll take down Zayu straight off the bat. Looking over towards Squad now as well, and Samel catches him out mid-swashbuckle as well. It's going to get them the second kill here. And now look at those cogs, locking them down. FNG, you can't go anywhere. He's going to die as well. Nona's trying to run himself away. He's got the surge, but is he fast enough? I don't think so. They're still chasing Aster. Monet leading the chase. He's got the cookie coming in as well. Notice does sidestep. Search out as well. Nice little moves coming out from the Darkseer. He does actually get away. So a small, thin silver lining here for Virtus.Pro, but it's still such a rough game for them.
Yeah, it's like the smallest of silver linings. I think for VP at least, like, they have really just now understood the strength of Aster's lineup. Like, you have gone for a very skirmishy, loose kind of lineup. You've basically had 3 moments in this game where you've not been able to successfully be aggressive because you've just run into, like, no good vision, basically, into the darkness. And in doing so, yeah, Aster just picked you apart. And I would love to see one fight from VP where you're putting the pipe aura onto the IO. You're throwing down the tombstone. Like, you're basically as 5. The issue is, you're always scared about that next chrono, that next arena. Where's the hookshot coming in to put the cogs and displace the eye from the next hero? Like, it's super hard to do. I feel like this lineup from VP, if it was against any other combination of Void or Mars, if you swap those heroes out, this lineup is like goated. Like, we're probably praising it to the end of time. So I think this concept is good, but against what Aster has, it's so hard. And you're gonna need to basically, you just need to, like, to play this, you need to have, like, no cares. You know, it's like, you hit your timing, we don't care, guys. You die, it's fine. They use their spell, we go again. You need to have that, like, OG mentality of chip, chip, chip. Break your opponent just through constant aggression. And yeah, we'll see if it works out. But
yeah, we could take a quick, cheeky little look at the schedule whilst we've got this pause going on, because why not? Of course, we've got another Virtus.Pro game coming up after this one with Entity, Execration Aster later on, and then Entity Aster later on. But back into the game as we are unpaused. So let's get back into it. I feel like Aster, though, they just got all this team fight, and this game has been entirely based on fighting. You know, there's been very little people trying to play the lanes. You know, no one's tried Roche yet. It's 18 minutes in. It's all about just smashing your heads together. Not even in lanes as well. No one cares towers. No one cares, like, objectives. It's just a brawl.
Yeah, and it's good to see. You know, it's like offense versus defense, right? Aster's quite the counterplay style lineup, where VP, they need to be the aggressors and to get things going. And you can see it as well with like the itemization from Aster, right? You've got the blink rush on the Mars, we're not seeing any quirkiness. Sumail going for the Orchid, so if anyone wants to jump him, he can then quick Orchid disengage, or even go on the aggressive. So yeah, I think Aster just, I mean, they're going themselves now, look.
They have him on vision, right? Like Kiritich is he doesn't know. And now in comes the rocket. It's going to give him a bit of a warning, but with the arena coming down, XXS, they're going to take him down again. Yet another death for the IO. And a look across towards F&G, pick up their little freebie on top of that as well, the cherry on the cake. And yeah, this is rough. 0-3 now on the IO.
Oh, and another pause as well. Oof. This one's for lag, of course, that's fine. But no, it does feel like for VP at least, they are just struggling with their ability to get the IO into the game. Like, unfortunately, his scoreline was what, 0-3?
Yep.
Yeah, where's the IO? Like, he's got to do something.
Do you want a carry comparison? The IO is 0-3-2, and the Faces Void is 9-0-5.
Oh yeah.
Monet is having a gay old time. And he's not even been bothering about Chronosphere either. He's just bouncing in all the time. Like, he's like, Chronosphere, Schmonosphere. I've got an arena. You know, I've always got someone to fight with me. Really pushing the advantage.
For Monet, at least, this has been one of those, like, sleeper games from him, where he just had to, he had the free lane, because he was against Dark, so there's a Void. He was just farming. And then he knows there's always going to be opportunities where Chronos present themselves. I think every single Chrono so far in this game has been 3 or 4 man, like minimum. There hasn't been a Chrono other than like the top one where he kills off this Darkseer, right, with Sumo. Like every other one has been impact Chronos. So he hasn't had to force it. He's not had to like, oh my god, I need to use my Chrono. They just kind of come to him, and that's like the perfect game for Aster, right? Like, don't get punished. Sure, Sumo dies a couple times, like, oh, it happens, right? But yeah, Monet really is just like the perfect insurance policy right now, and what, 4.5k above the IO right now.
Yes,
gonna have that
9-0 insurance policy is a good one indeed.
And it's not like an alchemist or something where like one death. Yeah, no problems, honestly. I'm trying to think like itemization wise against an IO. Like you probably want Skadi to reduce the healing a little bit as well. Void happily would like to buy that. You don't really need to buy Vessel. This item's relatively redundant nowadays, but I think even just one Skadi, a later on Shivas, like if this IO was a threat, Aster has the heroes to be able to buy these anti-healing items as well. So yeah, I think they're perfectly fine scaling into this game. They got a 10k lead at the 20-minute mark, and can VP take one fight? That's it. I've not seen them do one fight as 5 yet. It's been 20 minutes and it's just been 3 or 4 or 2.
Yep, and another hook shot, another kill onto a support of Virtus.Pro, another kill for Monet as he gets his 10th kill of the game. I really just want one fight where I say, wow, this IO hero looks pretty good.
That is the thing of IO, right? Like, remember when it was at TI and like OG showcased it? It was this was like the storyline of the cast. We're kind of repeating that cast, right? Which is like, IO's doing nothing, IO's dying, ooh, and then eventually it's like, oh my god, you know, like that is the story of IO. I'm not seeing it right now though. I don't think it's gonna have that impact.
I'm watching FNG and trying to take the Tormentor is oh man, I was like, okay, maybe this is a cool idea, you know. It seemed like they had a real plan there. Kiritich like tethered to the Undying. Yeah, Roche happened. No, we don't care about that. And they were like, all right, let's take this thing. We just 2 of us. We got infinite heals between us, and then they just didn't do any damage at all.
I'm gonna make a bold statement, man. I think Kiritich has got 5 IO games played in the last like 2 weeks. That's my vibe right now. Like maybe they've scrimmed it or something, but I'm not getting the I am an IO specialist from him. I'm gonna quickly double check his Dota buff to see if he played it years back when it was very, very good, but I'm not getting the feeling that he is like the guy for this hero. And this is more of like a, let's try it out. We played it once in a pub and a scrim, it was great. This is his first competitive IO game. This is his first competitive IO game, and he's now inside a tombstone. There we go.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. How did... How the hell did Monet get that kill? He literally just jumped in to kill the moment he came out of the tombstone. Oh no. They thought they could get something, but yeah, somehow gets out.
God, this is crazy to think, actually. Like, I was guessing it was sub 5, right? I checked the stats. And now Sumo, he gets the rune, comes back in, gets another kill. I just don't see how VP can stay out on the map right now. Like, they've got no posturing to make, and unfortunately, this Pangolier as well. He's not scaled at all. He had Diffusal Blade quite early, but since then he's now only just scrambling his way to the Aghanims, and it's not as if that's going to be too crazy in the fight. So yeah, VP, I think they're going to have to try and play the wider map, start splitting some lanes, and just hope Aster gets a bit too comfortable hitting creeps, but at this level, that's very unlikely.
Yeah, I kind of feel like VP's game might be a little bit over. I hope I'm wrong about that, but I just don't really see a way back for them, you know? Like,
yo, we could do the win probability guess. I'm going to go with 94% Aster.
Well, I was literally thinking 93. I'll stick with 93.
Okay, you're sticking 93, alright? What?
Wow!
Yo,
right.
Valve, low-key, OG fanboys, all I'm saying. Alright?
Yeah,
Because, like,
yeah.
because, you
the
know...
TI effect.
Exactly, TI effect. IO carry, they've got it hard-coded. If IO carry in-game,
yeah, give them
an extra 10%.
Yeah.
There we go, yeah.
Because I don't see any ways back into the game for them. So usually when that's the case, it's usually sitting around like 90 to 95-ish. But maybe I'm wrong. I mean,
I think the issue I see right now is when you look at heroes like Mars and Void, you're always talking about what happens after their big spell. But because of the lead that they've accrued so far, they have become the heroes that they don't care about their big spells anymore. They're like complements to the fight. A Void with 17,000 gold, with BKB, Mjolnir, and a soon-to-be Skadi, he happily plays on time dilation and time ults, right? And I think that's for VP. It's like their entire draft is built on playing before this window opens, right? Before Aster get to the point where they don't need their spells to be the crux of their lineup. And VP, they are trying to go aggressive here. Sumo is in the bottom side of the map, so potentially a numbers advantage.
I just want to point out something, but I will wait as there is a fight going on right now. Notice trying to run them in circles. They will get the Chronosphere dropped down. I mean, it's onto the Darkseer and the Undying, who's just going to get himself inside the Tombstone. Meanwhile, they were able to take out, at the very least, Peaky on the sidelines here. FNG buying back into this one. They want to try and take this fight. This is their moment. Can they make it happen? Io tethered up to the Pangolier, not really getting a whole lot done. I mean, the balls are kind of bouncing around, but doing, well, not enough. Monet, even if he was getting low there, he had himself an Aegis, so no real threat on the board. And yeah, just a kind of useless ball rolling around the fights. But two useless balls rolling around the fights, actually. Pangolier. Pangolier did a bit, but... I mean,
oh no. Oh, FNG.
100 damage, yeah, it's going to be another one. Well, that was
okay, so this is now the test of VP's resilience, right? Some teams in this type of scenario where you've drafted a very time-heavy lineup, GG's already in consideration, right? But so far, VP are showing us a little bit of resilience.